There is an exact measurable dollar amount where your brain biologically stops panicking about money. There is a second number where money stops motivating you entirely. And there is a third number, one almost nobody reaches, where money completely stops being the main character in your decisions altogether. And none of these are the numbers you think they are. You're lying in bed on a Tuesday night. The room is dark, the blue light of your phone is hitting your face, and you are staring at your bank balance for the third time today. You're doing that specific kind of math where you're not actually calculating anything. You're just running your eyes over the number, hoping it miraculously feels different this time. It doesn't. It's the exact same $3,400 it was this morning. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there is a quiet, persistent question. Is there a number that actually makes this feeling stop? There is. But you are currently guessing at a number shaped by comparison. You are guessing based on what a rich coworker makes, or what looks impressive on the internet. You are ignoring the actual research-backed psychological thresholds where your nervous system's relationship with money permanently alters. Let's map exactly where you are right now. Here's the baseline. You're making $58,000. After taxes, you clear roughly $3,850 a month. Rent takes $1,450. The car payment takes $360. Insurance, utilities, and groceries systematically drain another $800. You have about $960 of discretionary air to breathe. It's not nothing, but every single month a random event eats it. A car repair, a friend's destination wedding, a medical bill, and you end the month with maybe $100 left over, if you are being brutally honest with yourself. This is the emotional weather most of the middle class lives in permanently, not totally broke, not stable, just perpetually one unexpected invoice away from the wrong side of zero. Which brings us to the first psychological milestone. Almost everyone underestimates threshold 1 because the number is smaller than its ego wants it to be. Research on financial well-being is incredibly consistent here. The day-to-day, visceral emotional stress of money drops off a cliff the exact moment you accumulate 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses. For you, on this budget, that is somewhere between $8,700 and $17,400. Not invested, not growing aggressively in an index fund, just sitting in a boring, highly liquid account that you absolutely do not touch. This threshold is not about feeling rich. It is about making the 2 a.m. ceiling staring stop. Once that specific cash cushion exists, the primitive part of your brain that runs a constant low-grade threat assessment on your survival finally stands down. Most people think the ultimate goal is a straight line. Make more money, feel less stress, forever. That is a trap. The relationship between money and stress is not a straight line. It's a curve, and it flattens out violently. Here is threshold 2, the one that breaks people's intuition. Multiple large-scale studies have proven that day-to-day emotional stress keeps dropping as your income rises, right up until your household hits roughly $85,000 to $110,000 in a mid-sized city. Past that exact point, additional income will improve your overall life satisfaction, the abstract idea that your life is going well, but it mathematically stops reducing your daily emotional anxiety. The tight chest doesn't keep shrinking. It just stops responding to more money. This means the guy making $180,000, who still seems tense and miserable, isn't faking it. His day-to-day nervous system genuinely isn't any calmer than someone making $95,000. Why? Because below threshold 1, your brain processes every dollar as a survival tool. Will I be okay? But between threshold 1 and 2, that threat resolves, and your brain completely shifts its processing mechanism. Money stops being about survival and starts being about comparison. Am I doing better than them? And comparison has absolutely no ceiling. There is always someone one rung up the ladder. If you do not understand threshold 2, you will spend the best years of your life chasing income increases to relieve a daily stress that money can no longer touch. You will take the higher-paying job with the toxic boss. You will sacrifice your weekends. You will keep running the exact same 2 a.m. calculation, just with bigger numbers. wondering why the relief never arrives. Which brings us to the final milestone, threshold 3. Almost nobody reaches this, not because it requires billions of dollars, but because it requires a specific structural architecture most people never build on purpose. Threshold 3 is not a dollar amount. It's a ratio. It's the exact point where the passive yield of your investments covers your baseline monthly existence without you trading another hour of your life for a paycheck. If your bare-bones life costs $4,000 a month, threshold 3 triggers when you have roughly $1.2 million invested. But the total number matters far less than what crossing it actually purchases. Below threshold 3, every difficult boss, every demanding client, and every toxic meeting is filtered through an unspoken, subconscious calculation. Can I afford for this to go badly? Above threshold 3, that filter evaporates. The money doesn't make you reckless. Most people who reach this point barely change their spending at all. But that chronic, suffocating background calculation of "can I afford this risk" completely stops running. That's what you are actually buying. Not luxury, silence. The absolute absence of a calculation you have been running for so long, you forgot what quiet sounds like. So how do the people who actually escape the trap operate? They stop optimizing for threshold 2 once they cross it. They realize a bigger salary won't fix their internal anxiety. If they haven't hit threshold 1, they stop buying things and ruthlessly hoard cash until that 3 to 6 month cushion is full. They buy their nervous system's freedom first. And for threshold 3, they treat every single dollar they invest as a hire. They are literally hiring tiny employees whose sole biological purpose is to generate 4 cents of passive income a year. It feels agonizingly slow at first, until one day the dividends cover the electric bill, then the groceries, then eventually your total freedom. 3 thresholds, 3 completely different psychological problems. Most people spend their entire adult lives trying to solve all 3 with the exact same tool, more salary, and go to their graves wondering why the math never fixed how they felt. Look at your own life right now. What is the exact dollar amount of your bare-bones, monthly survival baseline? Drop just that number in the comments below. No context, just the number. Let's see exactly what threshold 3 looks like for this community.